Hello and welcome back to my channel, Somewhere Below Nirvana. Today we will be reacting to 5 things you should know before choosing a career if you want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Welcome to today's video, where we're going to be talking about how you can do work before you have kids that will allow you to stay at home with your kids after you're a mom. If you are new to my channel, here we talk about classic living and traditional values, and I would love if you would consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, as well as heading over to my Substack newsletter, where you'll get access to a ton of exclusive content, including my book club, my podcast, and my weekly article. If you see me looking off to the side or hear any sounds in this video, that is my baby. He is very entertained by what I am doing right now, so that is just a warning ahead of time. But in today's video, I want to talk about 5 ways that you can have a job before you get married, before you have kids, but that will allow you to transition to being a stay-at-home mom or working from home so that you can be around for your children as they're growing up. I think that a lot of the time we've been taught that we have to pursue our career as hard as possible, and then when we get married and we have kids and we want to stay at home, there's a lot of guilt involved with that. So today I want to talk about...
Okay, how about those people that don't have that option? Let's say you are a nurse. Let's say you are a pharmacist. Let's say you are an attorney. There are many jobs where if you do not continue your education and keep up with it, then you might not have a job for very long. And there are plenty of women who have careers and raise kids and do it with a husband and do it without. I have seen it. So,
talk about ways that you can actually choose a job that won't make you feel bad when you want to stay at home or if you want to work part-time from home. So I'm excited to get into today's list. I wish that I had had this when I was younger, that someone had talked about it in this way so that I could choose a job that was realistic, that I enjoyed, but that also was actually practical to my life after becoming a mom. So let's get into today's video. Okay, the first way that you can pursue a job that won't mess you up when you want to be a stay-at-home mom is to not put yourself into debt. This is, I think...
first of all, not and doing background research on Classically Abby, she lived a privileged life. Pretty privileged, in my opinion. Not everybody has parents with money. Financial aid is great. Pell Grant is great. However, there are times where it's either go into debt or don't go to college at all. Or don't go further into college. And some people have no choice but to put themselves in debt. I'm going back to college. I fully intend to go back to college. And if I have to take on debt to do that, then so be it.
not put yourself into debt. This is, I think, the most important thing that you can do as a woman who wants to be at home or who wants to work part-time from home. First of all, I don't think anyone should go into debt for education, so let's just get out of the way. But especially if
You don't think anyone should go into debt for education. So, as somebody who has gone to college and gotten financial aid, there are limits to financial aid, if I remember correctly, and if you want an advanced degree, if you want to go to grad school, for example, you might have to go into debt in order to do that.
So let's just get out of the way. But especially if you want to be a stay-at-home mom or work from home, putting yourself into debt is really going to limit those options for a few reasons. One, you're going to have to pay off that money. And number two, I think there's a lot of guilt associated with putting a lot of money into something and then not actually pursuing that career to its highest level.
How do you know they're not going to pursue that career to its highest level? Believe it or not, marriage is not all roses and peaches. You may need that degree one day to support your children. Not all husbands stay with their wives, and as a child of divorce twice, I can tell you that you need a skill, you need a job, you need to have a job where you can support your kids a lot of times alone, because I have seen it before. Men getting out of paying child support very different ways. Fake social security numbers, for example. You know, there are ways that they do it.
And then not actually pursuing that career to its highest level. It is not a good idea to ever put yourself into debt for education because it doesn't ever pay back what you put into it, but especially...
How do you know if you go into debt to become something like a doctor, a pharmacist? You can actually make a lot of money and pay off those loans.
In this situation, just go to a community college or try and get a scholarship or go to a local school as opposed to going out of state. Don't put yourself in a financial situation that would prevent you from being able to...
Abby, did you not go from California to New York to the Manhattan School of Music? Did you not go out of state to pursue an opera career? So why are you saying that?
To actually be a stay-at-home mom or just to work a job that kind of contributes to the household but doesn't necessarily provide for the entire household. Having debt is never worth it, and it really only will come back to make you miserable. And if you feel like you have debt that you need to pay off, you won't be able to stop working or work less with a clear conscience. So I really don't recommend putting yourself into debt in any situation, but in this situation particularly, I would not recommend it at all. Number two is don't put your career over everything else. So,
Again, not everybody is married to an attorney, such as you are. Sometimes crap happens in life. Husbands leave. Divorce happens. People become widows, widowers. And sometimes you have to put your career ahead of certain things for a while to provide for your family. You can try to find balance, but sometimes that's just not possible.
so this is something I think is, it's again this sunk cost fallacy. So when you are pursuing certain careers, okay, let's talk about law, let's talk about medicine. That job takes over your life. Like you cannot do anything else while you are in school for those things, depending on kind of your specialty and all these things. But in most cases, it really is all consuming. If you are pursuing a career like that, then if you decide not to pursue it after you have children, you will feel guilty again. It's this guilt thing that we all struggle with for having wasted all that time on something that you don't actually want to pursue all the way to the top.
Is your sister-in-law not a doctor? I think I read that somewhere.
So don't choose a career or study in something that is going to take up your whole life so that you then feel guilty that you spent all that time on something that didn't pay off. It's just going to make you sad at the end of the day if you look back at those years and think, oh, I could have been using it in a different or better way, and instead I used it for that and now I'm not even pursuing that. Now, I believe that everything you've done in your past influences who you are and where you are in your future, but even with that, you still have to struggle with those guilt feelings of I wasted time. And when you have that sunk cost fallacy, which is, oh, I put in this much time, therefore I must continue, then it's really hard to break that philosophy. And instead, you might end up forcing yourself into putting in more time into something that you don't want to do and ultimately will not make you a better mother or a better wife. Number 3 is choose something that has flexibility and that at some point you could do from home. There are certain jobs that you can't do from home, right? You can't be a doctor from home, but there are other jobs that you can do from home. For example, for me, I do content creation. Now, not everyone can do this and make a living, but the nice thing about this job is that I can do it from home and I do have flexibility. I work on my own hours and I have the opportunity to spend time with my baby and take care of my home and be a homemaker. So finding a job that really does have that flexibility is going to be imperative to you being able to stay at home. Now, you may choose not to work at all, which is a beautiful thing, just being a full-time homemaker. But if you do need to work, or if you choose to work part-time, you need to be able to have the flexibility to do it on your own hours. Because as a mom, you are never going to be able to say, oh, I can work from this time to this time without any problems. Unless you have help, a daycare, a nanny, a mom around, you can't guarantee that those hours are going to be stable. So you need to have flexibility. So look into careers that A, you have a passion for, that you enjoy, that you like, but B, can also be flexible enough for you to actually do them from home and do them on your own hours. Number 4 is save, save, save. Save your money. If you save money and you kind of have a little nest egg saved for when you get married, then not only are you going into your marriage without any debt, you're also going in with some money that can help pay for groceries or can help pay the bills, things that you may not choose to contribute financially once you get married, but if you have that money saved from before, you can help at least in the beginning with those bills, with those smaller expenses like groceries, things like that. If you have that money saved, that will be so helpful for you and your future husband. Because you're contributing by taking care of the home and domestically and being a mom, you don't need to contribute financially if that's what you and your husband are able to work out. But with that in mind, it's really nice to have a little bit of money to bring into your marriage that can just help out with those smaller things. Number 5 is do work that you can take time out of the workforce and still re-enter it after a certain period of time. I think that it's nice to work, have children.
Let me tell you, as somebody who is applying to jobs, who is going back to school, employers do not like gaps in a resume. If you have huge amount of time in which you didn't work in certain fields, that is not going to be accepted as much. Let's say you are a pharmacy tech, you are a nurse. You are expected to keep up your education. And if you completely drop out of that to stay at home, when you try to come back, it may not be that easy.
I think that it's nice to work, have children, stay at home, and then re-enter the workforce after your children are grown. Or be a really involved grandmother or volunteer, that kind of thing. But if you want to work before you have children and then work after you have children, the only way that's going to work is if you choose a career that will allow you to do that. Because not every career will you be able to take a 20-year absence and then re-enter the workforce. But maybe there are certain jobs where you can kind of keep abreast of the information that you need to keep abreast of, and you can learn new technologies, but that your education and your work experience from 20 years ago will still translate to what you want to do after your children are grown. And because there are certain jobs that won't allow you to do that, it's important for you to choose a job that does allow you to do that. You also may choose not to re-enter the workforce, which is totally fine. But if you want to, then A, maybe doing some part-time work so that you kind of have a resume that would be worth looking at after your kids are grown. But B, making sure that you're just choosing something initially that would allow you to take that bigger break and still be a relevant person in 20-ish years, that kind of thing. But those are my ideas for how you can work before you have children and then be a homemaker or work from home when you have children. That's how I think you should go about it. I'm not somebody who believes that you need to follow your dreams, because I believe that your dreams should be being a mother, being a wife, being known in the...
What if my dream is to be a pharmacist, a pharmacy tech? Do I not have a right to that dream? Should my only dream being a mom and a wife? And don't get me wrong, I have a great man in my life. We intend to have kids. We intend to get married. But I also intend to keep a career. Because guess what? You may not always have a husband. Things happen in life. And you need to have a skill. You need to have a job. You need to have a career. In case you end up having to support your children yourself. And I have seen it happen. I have seen men do whatever they could to avoid paying child support, and the woman ends up having to support the children on her own. And thank God she had a career, because if she didn't, those kids would be screwed. They would. So, I don't quite get what you're trying to say, Abby.
Being a mother, being a wife, being known in the context of your family. So if you liked today's video, make sure to like this video and drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd also love to know if you are studying something in school right now. Let me know what you are studying. I think that'd be